Exactly. Anyone else you're on? Anyone's on it? The 8K range, or can we jump down to these 7K guys?
I want to hear who Jimmie likes down here because this is he's like a kid in a candy store over here right
now. It's fairly obvious, right? There's only two guys at 7,900, and I'm not
Captain America, right?
I'm not playing Kevin Chappell, so it's Patrick Reed. I'm pretty fired up about it. He's been, he's been sporting a really hot approach game and a decent putter, and that's kind of what you need around here. He's played well around here. I think he can be really aggressive on these golf courses with his approach game because he's so good around the greens. He knows he can get up and down around this course or these courses. So I like Patrick Reed. I've got a little outright on him, which always makes me a bit nervous because I don't know. It seems like Patrick Reed just doesn't close out these type of events. He closes out match play and just other smaller, more intimate fields much more closely when he can stare at his opponent, and like pierce them with his gaze or something. I don't know. There's something that happens to Patrick Reed when he plays, match play or close small field tournaments. It seems like, but either way, I like Patrick Reed a lot this week. And
don't you feel like he's the type of guy that could get like pissed off at his amateur partner? I feel like he's kind of like a hothead. I feel like he'd be like the guy that's like, oh, you're gonna putt that, like I don't know. Not sure it's the format for him, like you're saying, but
Patrick Reed's 100% a dick. Yeah, there's no debate about that.
I mean, as long as he does his job well.
I really thought that you were talking about Chappell. Can we discuss this for a second? Like when you said 7,900, like Reed didn't even enter my mind at all.
Really? With his course history, he didn't enter your mind?
I don't know. It was just funny because I saw it and I was like, oh, well, he's obviously talking about Chappell. And it just, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I'm definitely not talking about Chappell. No. I play Chappell in like Texas. And
I'm a well-documented fish. Like I don't understand what you want from me. Like,
oh, I don't know. Like Kevin Chappell's probably going to win now, but that's not the guy I was talking about. I'm very much Patrick Reed this week.
After Chappell finished last place of the Tour Championship when I was in the Fantasy Golf World Championship and I rostered him, I don't think I'm ever going to be playing Chappell again.
So that's brutal. That's hard to do.
Thousands and thousands of dollars. So Chappell's on my no playlist from now on.
No, wait, I need to get you guys' take on a guy at 7,700, Nick Watney.
Why not? He's actually been doing pretty well lately. Right? I mean, 26 at Waste Management, pretty good. I mean, I saw him written up.
So I just wrote him up. It hasn't been published yet, but I wrote him up as a GPP play, and I think Nick Watney. I think I'll have more than the field for this week, at least in terms of that $4 big tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it.
Well, I mean, when I say more than the field, I might have like 10%.
All right.
Yeah, the field might have like 5.
Yeah.
He's not like your guy. He's not like your 100% guy. Okay.
No, I was just curious because at 7,700, I think he's going to be really low owned, but I also think he really likes this course and he could have some upside to finish top 25.
No, I think he's fine.
Yeah, I mean, what was he, a runner-up a few years, 3 years ago here? So, yeah.
Yeah. So, he's made his last 3 cuts. I think he's just one of those like weirdly priced players that people are going to look past because they think he's too expensive and he doesn't have like a great reputation or anything. But 7,700, I think, is just, I don't know. I'll spend that money and I'll put a few shares on Watney.
All right, I'll throw a lineup in now because you talked me into it.
What about you, Logan? Who do you like in this range, this area?
In the upper 7K range, I'm actually just going to skip over it all. I'm going to play Reedy there, and then I really don't like anyone. I like a lot of the guys, especially with kind of my strategy. I was saying I'm going to start with, Day and Spieth probably. I mean, unless I kind of swerve to DJ, I'm going to be stuck with about 7,100 remaining if I do stack those two guys, kind of the majority of my lineups, and just not going to be able to play much in here, I don't think. I just don't really like any guys. I like a lot of the guys in the lower range. So we'll get
I love your early commitment to the lineup construction strategy. I think that's awesome.
I mean, I think
it makes your week really easy. You make a decision, you build everything, and then like the news and all the crap doesn't matter. You just you're done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can tinker, but or kind of tweak it. But yeah, I think the structuring is a lot of what I really look into and really kind of dive into to start my week. So I think that can really, add EV, I guess, just by structuring your lineups properly.
Absolutely. I like your commitment to it. Just like, no, I'm looking past, because I think Patrick Reed's one of those plays that's hard to get away from when you add up all the stuff this week. And
yeah,
I think that it takes discipline to do that. So, I mean, I like the commitment to the strategy, and GPPs, that pays off huge.
Yeah.
When you consolidate your player pool, that's how you
exactly. Like I can't be playing those two guys at the top and then have like 8 guys in the upper 7 to 8 range. You gotta really you can have a few, but you can't really have too much ownership or it just won't add up. So
yeah, no, it's awesome. I like it. So moving on.
All right, yeah. Well, I mean, I can start with the lower 7K ranges. We want to move there, but so I really like. I was on him last week and he almost popped off, but Charlie Hoffman, I think he's been just mispriced all year. I think he's just I think he should be in that 8K, upper, mid to upper 8K range consistently. And DraftKings keeps pricing him in the lower 7K range. So I'm just going to keep playing him. He hasn't really been picking up too much ownership. I'm just going to ride him until, maybe he'll start picking up some ownership in the Texas swing, but I'm hoping to just keep riding him. And I really like just his talent level down there. And he's playing fine. He just hasn't had that top 5 finish this season. And then, another guy that I kind of consistently on is Steve Stricker. I think, when I was saying, like, I was looking at approach game, good putters. He putts well on every type of green. I think his wedge game this week will he's very consistent cut maker. So not really worried about that. Might even consider him in cash. So big on Stricker this week.
I like the Stricker call. He keeps popping up for me. I have him start on Fantasy National. And he showed he popped up one of the reasons I started him is last week I saw him at Phoenix, and he was playing way better on that track than I expected him to.
Yeah, last 16 rounds on rolling stats, I've got him as 20th in the field. So he's actually hitting the ball well. And he's got the putting, so I like Stricker.
I agree with you on Hoffman as well, but I like Streelman at 73.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like Steve Stricker's like your ugly girlfriend in high school that you didn't really bring out. Like it's solid, it's fine, but you don't really talk about it that much. Like rostering Steve Stricker is always I know I need to, because I know that there's a almost 0% chance that he misses the cut, it seems like. But yeah, it's not like a sexy pick, so it's interesting because I started him on Fantasy National too, so I'm fully on board with you there. And again, Streelman popped in everything that I built out so far this week. Just his approach game obviously has been solid. Would have liked to see him score a little bit better last week. He ended up, I think, 40th ish. But Streelman and Sink, those are my boys right there at 7,300. So just easy game,
Yeah, Streelman's been a guy that DraftKings has just been underpricing all season, it looks like.
It seems that way. I like Streelman. I think the only thing that really hasn't been working for him is his putter. He can turn that around. Poe is sort of an interesting green to putt on. It's sort of, sometimes the breaks what's that old saying? Some days you get the elevator, some days you get the shaft. That's kind of what it's like putting on Poe. It's sometimes the bounces go your way and sometimes they don't. So maybe a few of the bounces go Streelman's way this week on the greens, and his approach game pays off for him.
Yeah, I mean, even if he's just sort of neutral on the greens, you would think that he would be able to put up, a decent score. So he's not really overly reliant on his putting because of how well he is on approach. So, I'm
on Streelman, but at 71, I really like Chris Kirk down here, man. 7,100 just feels like a way too cheap a price for Chris Kirk. I think I think I'm just a little bit higher on Chris Kirk in general this year than maybe most people are, so that's maybe part of the bias. But I don't know. I think 7,100 is a great price for him, and $7,000 Austin Cook. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I mean that's the obvious one, right?
This feels like the Chesson Hadley from last week type of thing, where it's almost intentional. I don't quite get it. So I mean, Austin Cook's obviously in play. He's going to be chalky, but The guy I kind of like Scott Piercy below him. I haven't looked into Scott Piercy's course history here, but I like Scott Piercy's type of game for this course setup.
He was 55th last year. Nothing else over the last 5 years, but
that's perfect. He's primed for a win then.
What do y'all think of JB Holmes after that whole debacle at Torrey coming in here 7,400?
You don't get over that. Like,
yeah, the most hated man in DFS. He made us wait 3 minutes, so everybody has to like lose their shit.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think that whole thing's probably blown over by now. It was like a media storm for a week for him, but I don't think it like continues.
He lost in all that was he played well, finished fourth, one shot out of the playoff after he ended up birdieing that hole. And, I guess he missed the cut at Waste Management, so I missed that. But, he's got – what has he got course history-wise here?
It's been decent if I remember correctly. I'm not looking at it, but it's been decent.
Made some cuts here. I'd consider him. I'm not sold on him yet. I'm trying to talk myself into him here, but not working out.
And it's like
I'd rather play a lot of other people besides JB. It seems like down here, and so I guess like again, the only thing I'm doing is really playing that $4 max, 20 max entry. So all my strategies kind of like centered around that. It seems like so. Down here, I'm probably going to play the ownership game again and try to find the guy that I like best, and then go really heavy on him. And hopefully that person that I settle on has like a marginal low ownership. But I mean, there's several guys that are in play, and I'm sad to say that even Bryson DeChambeau is in play.
He's in play for me as well.
Yeah, I think his brain exploded on Sunday though. That's the only problem.
What happened? Did his putter explode, or did he? I don't know.
All the science left him. He had no more sciencing to do on Sunday, and just completely sort of, I don't know. It was very apparent that I think he like got it back together a little bit down the stretch to like salvage a top 5, but just watching his first few holes, you could just tell he was like completely out of it. But he's obviously
it is Phoenix, man. I lived in Phoenix. That place will get you fucked up if you're not careful down there where they're at. So he might have gone out and started celebrating early, counting his dollars.
I was gonna say, is like the senior citizen communities, are they getting like lit?
Don't they say like the smart people use more drugs and alcohol than other people, to expand their minds? He's